Another way that you can start to visualize your version of your brightest life, especially if you're a more linear or word-oriented thinker, is to use bulleted lists. So, what you do is you open up a Word doc and you jot down all of the areas of your life that are most important to you. And you're aiming for big buckets here. So, like 5 to 10 buckets. Here, for example purposes, I've listed out health, maybe your spouse, your children, your career, your finances, your spirituality. It could be like self-care or hobbies, fulfillment, volunteering, whatever you feel like the core for your life is. And again, you can edit this at any time and add to it or switch things around. It's just kind of a base layer. Then the second thing that you're going to do is you're going to jot down a few bullets for each of these sections of just a few words that describe what your brightest life would look like for this area. So, for example, for health, I might write down things like feel energetic, vibrant, and strong. Go on a walk most mornings. I'm making this up off the top of my head, so bear with me a little bit. You could write down like make healthy, nutritious meals, things like that. And for me, that starts to paint this picture of someone whose health is vibrant, who feels balanced, who feels like there's a healthy lifestyle. You can keep going with this, but I'd recommend like 3 to 5 bullets. For spouse, what does your best relationship look like? Maybe you feel connected, passionate, and supportive in your relationship. Maybe you go on a weekly date night. Maybe you have a habit of trying new things together, feeling like a team with your children, putting your relationship first, things like that. Like it'll be different for everyone. That's the beauty of having your own calling and vision. But go through each of these sections and start to paint a picture of what your life looks like, what it feels like. Once you're done with this exercise, you're going to be able to read through this list and get a picture of the woman that you want to become and the life that you want to lead. So it can be something that you quickly read through every morning, maybe before you go to bed. It can be something that you just keep up always on the desktop of your computer so you can glance at it whenever you have a chance. But it will really help you start to clarify, especially if you're not as much of a visual images person. It'll help you start to clarify what this version of your life looks like that just makes you feel like you really are living your best life. Now, the added piece, and this is something that we will talk about more in one of the future lesson bundles around doing, is how to break down these actual action items. But what I would do here, if I were to take this to the next step, is to start to pinpoint things in my list that I could make practical action items in my life. Meaning, if I have something like go on a walk most mornings, to me, that's a great clue that I can go to my calendar and schedule time to walk every morning. And maybe I start small. Maybe it's just a 10-minute walk and I walk 5 minutes down to one end of my neighborhood and I walk 5 minutes back. But that starts to get me in the habit of waking up early every morning and becoming a woman that starts her day with a walk and the peace of mind that creates. Over time, I can build a 10 minutes down and 10 minutes back, and then I've got a 20-minute walk. If you add in something like going on a weekly date night with your spouse, perfect. Go and find time on your calendar to make it a recurring thing and protect that time, and maybe have a conversation with your spouse about one of you taking one week and the next planning the date night the next week and alternating like that. So this list gives you so many starting places and ideas to start bringing your dream life to life and to your reality. But I think at the very first layer, if all you do is just create this vision for your life in all of the areas that mean the most to you, what a beautiful practice and thing to have to look at and continually edit every year or as your life changes. And if it does give you ideas about things you can start implementing and doing in small ways, then amazing. You're just going to be taking steps closer and closer to that woman that you want to become in the life and relationships that you want to be leading. So I hope this gives you some ideas, maybe helps you see things and clarify things in a new way. And I can't wait to hear what your unique vision looks like. I hope that playing with these bolded lists helps you get clear on it.